Alright folks, I just got done watching Damsel on Netflix, and I have some thoughts. If you don't know what Damsel is a 2024 American dark fantasy film directed by Juan Carlos Fresnadillo. The film stars Millie Bobby Brown as Elodie. Elodie accepts a marriage proposal only to realize that she's being used to repay a royal family's ancient debts, and must now escape while surviving attacks from the dragon lurking in the chasm. I knew nothing about this film upon watching it, to be completely honest. I hadn't watched any trailers, I didn't read the synopsis, I knew nothing. I went into this movie completely cold. Halfway through this film, I was actually enjoying it. I thought it was pretty solid. And then something happens. There's a turning point in the script, and from that point on, everything is kind of stupid. I mean, the second half of this film is pretty bad, I must say. Let's break it down. This movie opens up with a quote from Elodie. There are many stories of chivalry where the heroic knight saves
the damsel in distress. This is not one of them.
So right off the bat, I know what I'm dealing with. This will be a story of a woman saving herself or saving someone else, pretty much, right? She's not going to be saved by anyone. So this is a medieval fantasy. We're talking knights, kings, and dragons. So we meet Elodie and her sister Floria. They live on a manor where their people are suffering, they're cold, they're starving. Her people are very much struggling at this current time. So Elodie as a character, she's witty, she's good on a horse, she's very much a hard worker. She's taken up a lot of responsibilities to help her people, and she's very honest. That's a big character trait for her. She's very honest. Her father, Lord Bayford, is meeting with the Kingdom of Oria. They arrive with a proposal. The Queen of Oria would like for his daughter, Elodie, to marry the Prince of Oria, Henry, and they will be given gold in exchange. So her father would like for her to marry Henry because he feels like this is a way that he can save his people. The situation is very much fraught. It's a very stressful situation. Her people will not last much longer. She's not a fan of the idea, but she goes along with it because she feels guilty and she wants to help her people. If she has to marry a prince she doesn't know, she's willing to do that. So they reach the Kingdom of Oria and they're loving the architecture. It's a beautiful kingdom and they can't believe their luck. Elodie meets Henry and you can tell that he doesn't really want to talk to her. He's very distant. She's very upfront with him. She tells him straight up. She says, hey, I'm here because I feel guilty. I've been guilted into marrying you, which he actually appreciates, and they start to get along very well. They like each other, like genuinely. So at this point in the story, you notice that things are just too good to be true. You're like waiting for the turn. You're waiting for something bad to happen. The current situation is just too good. So Angela Bassett, and that's what I'm going to call her for the remainder of this review. Angela Bassett, she has a talk with the queen, tries to be polite, tries to get to know her because she knows that they'll be family soon. And the queen is not having it. She's like, look, okay, this is a business transaction, all right? We needed someone for Henry to marry and you all needed gold. That's what this is. We don't need any more family, okay? So at this point, the queen is kind of a bitch, but that's not a reason to call off the wedding. Angela Bassett goes to Elodie and says, hey, maybe this was a mistake. And I'm like, wait a minute. You can't call off this wedding because the queen is a bitch? That's crazy. Ultimately, it turns out that Angela Bassett was correct and that there's something nefarious going on. But at this point, calling off the wedding would have been silly, okay? Now, Elodie's father and the queen have a meeting. And it's clear once the meeting is over that something has gone wrong or something has happened, but Lord Bayford does not want to say what happened. He's hiding something from Elodie and Angela Bassett. So Angela Bassett is now concerned because the queen is a bitch and because Lord Bayford is hiding something, and now she's kind of concerned about Elodie and her future. While talking to Henry, Elodie mentions that on the mountain she saw some torches and saw some type of ritual going on. Henry tells her that it's an ancient ritual that they perform to honor their ancestors. This ancient ceremony is part of the reason why his mother selected these dates for their wedding. So the wedding day comes and her father is still hiding something. We can only guess, but we're not sure. Whatever the secret is, he's willing to sacrifice his daughter for his people. So the wedding goes off without a hitch. And at this point, it's pretty obvious that they're going to sacrifice her to the dragon, all right? The first scene of this film, we see that the first king of Oria attempted to go slay the dragon, and they failed miserably. So at this point, to me, it's pretty clear that the rituals that are happening at this mountain involve sacrifice of some sort. So when they get to the mountain and we get this ritual, we get some exposition about what happened back in the day. So the queen tells a story of what happened to the first king. According to her tale, the dragon had bloodlust and ravaged the village. The king tried to avenge the people but failed. He made a pact with the dragon to sacrifice his 3 daughters, and that would keep the kingdom safe. The queen tells Elodie that tonight she joins a long line of women who have helped to build this kingdom. You feel for Elodie because you know what's about to happen, but she doesn't see it coming. So this ritual involves Henry and Elodie cutting their hands open and exchanging blood. The queen announces that she is now of royal blood. Henry picks her up and then yeets her over the ledge down into the chasm. Well, at least he says he was sorry. Elodie survives the fall, and it becomes quite clear that she's joining a long list of women who have been sacrificed to the dragon. The next 30 minutes of this film is simply a survival and escape film. She starts screaming for help. I'm like, lady, no one's gonna help you. They're the ones who threw you down there.
I am the sacrifice.
It takes her a second to come to the realization of what just happened, and it's kind of funny. She comes into contact with the dragon. So many women have been sacrificed. She sees visions of these women, one in particular named Victoria, who drew a map with clues to help the women get out who were tossed down there. For the next 30 minutes, it's a survival and escape movie, and it's not bad. Elodie is trying to escape and avoid the dragon. The dragon is trying to hunt her down, and it's not bad. She follows Victoria's path, and she gets to this place in the chasm where she can climb up, and she believes this is the way Victoria got out. She quickly comes to the realization that she's too high to get out. Victoria never escaped, and she's pretty much doomed. The dragon shows up and tells her, yeah, you're pretty much screwed. The dragon burns her alive, and yeah, that's the movie. The end. What are your thoughts, guys? Did you enjoy this movie? Have you seen... Wait a minute. She's not dead? The dragon didn't kill her? What the hell is going on here? Oh, well, you see, the dragon heard people approaching and didn't finish her off for some reason. This was the moment, folks. This was the moment. The moment everything goes downhill. There was nothing stopping this dumbass dragon from killing Elodie right there. The movie should have ended. There was nothing stopping the dragon. It could have killed Elodie and then go investigate what the hell was going on. Elodie had accepted her fate. It made absolutely no sense why the dragon didn't kill her right there. From this point on, the script is very bad. So we find out the first king actually slaughtered 3 babies of this dragon. The humans are paying their debt to the dragon. So you took 3 of my children, so I'll take 3 of your daughters every, I don't know how often this happens. So that's the agreement the first king made once he made the terrible decision of killing those 3 dragon babies. So what stopped the dragon from killing Elodie was a man screaming Elodie's name. It turns out that man was her father. So somehow her father and some men show up to this damn mountain with no resistance. I don't know what kind of operation this kingdom is running, but if there was a mountain that had a damn dragon who you had to keep happy, there's no way I'll be leaving that damn mountain unattended to, you know, or unguarded. There's no way. But somehow he was able to stroll up to this mountain all willy-nilly with no resistance. So at this point, it's clear her father knew what was going to happen. He knew she was going to be sacrificed to the dragon, but he just couldn't live with himself, so he showed up to save her. Elodie climbs back down. Before her father is killed, he orders her not to come out and apologizes for what he's done. She witnesses her father and his men get killed by the dragon. Elodie climbs up the rope to escape. Somehow the dragon misses with her fire and Elodie escapes. So the dragon freaks out and has a hissy fit, and somehow, some way, the queen is convinced that Elodie escaped. She just knows it somehow. So the plan is to now sacrifice Elodie's sister, Floria. And now I'm wondering, wait a minute, her father tried to go save Elodie knowing that his wife and other daughter is still in the kingdom? Okay, that's a choice. So at this point, there's no sense of time and distance. Angela Bassett somehow gets free and jumps on a horse with no resistance. What is going on with this kingdom? She finds Elodie and tells her what happened. And then Elodie jumps on a horse to go save her sister. And I'm like, how? So Floria is about to be yeeted down to the dragon, and the queen wants Henry to swap his blood. You see, the royal family are the ones who are in debt, so the royal family are the ones who are supposed to be sacrificing their daughters to the dragon. So they do the blood swapping thing so the dragon can think the women that are tossed down there are of royal blood. We'll get back to that later. Aren't dragons supposed to be smart? Shouldn't the dragon know that these different race of women are not of royal blood? I don't know, it's kind of weird. The dragon is kind of dumb. Henry is not on board with this. Henry draws the line at children. If Floria was 18 years old, it would be fine.
Mother, enough! She's too young.
Apparently. The dragon doesn't kill Floria because it's convinced that Elodie will come back to save her for some reason. I don't know how it could possibly know that. By the time Elodie gets to the mountain, everyone is gone somehow. She re-enters the cavern and becomes Xena, warrior princess. She's a complete badass with a sword out of nowhere. It's pretty ridiculous. I feel like the dragon could have burned her alive a couple times, but doesn't. It's kind of weird. Elodie's fight with the dragon is ridiculous. I cannot buy Elodie's fight with the dragon one bit. I just can't. The dragon tells Elodie that the king is the one who made the first attack. The death of her babies was the first act of violence. So the royal family are the true villains here. After stabbing the dragon a couple times, she comes up with a grand master plan. She stands in front of this curved rock face and baits the dragon into shooting her fire. She jumps out of the way and the fire hits the curve and comes back at the dragon. And the dragon is burned by her own fire. I'm not a dragon aficionado, but how can the fire from a dragon burn the dragon? I mean, the fire comes from the belly. So shouldn't the dragon be impervious to the fire? I don't know, man. I don't know. Then she shows the scar on her hand to the dragon. And she's like, this is how they make us royal. You've been lied to. Why didn't you show her the damn scar before you started fighting? Why? I mean, the dragon should have known that these women were not of royal blood. I mean, come on. They all look different. Come on now. So Elodie saves the dragon's life because of course she does. Her and the dragon team up to confront the queen. Henry somehow foolishly thinks he still has a chance with Elodie, which is kind of hilarious and pathetic.
She's the last. And then I'll be free to marry whoever.
That's enough, Henry.
The dragon burns the royal family. You might as well call her Khaleesi. She's a regular Daenerys Targaryen. Oh boy, the second half of this film was not good. The dragon could have killed Elodie about 30 times in this film. The world doesn't feel real, and not because of the dragon. In the end, after burning the royal family in the palace, she travels back home with the dragon and supplies to help her people. I found myself laughing at the second half of this film, but not in a good way. You have characters popping up out of nowhere, a lot of plot convenience all around. Not great. This movie had some cool visuals. I give it a 2 out of 5. What are your thoughts, guys? Did you enjoy this movie? Have you seen it? Can a dragon burn itself with its own fire? Let me know. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.